Hi, my name is Robert Lester. I'm a counselor in the Paradise Unified School District and frequently the person just off camera during our conversations about mental health awareness. The following interviews are local parents who graciously, and I will add courageously, agreed to speak about their experiences raising a teen, both the celebration and the head-shaking challenge of it. I think doing the hard work of being a good parent is something that virtually every person dreams of when they first learn they're going to be a parent, at least after the initial shock has worn off. The reality of that dream is it is full of worry, second guessing, self-doubt. A national survey in 2020 asked parents, "How are you feeling?" And it likely comes as no surprise to you the overwhelming response was anxious. You have hopes for your child, but hopes do not come with any firm guarantees. What you are going to hear next is how a few of our parents make sense of that hope and anxiety, how the work of good parenting has changed as their children have changed, how they learn from mistakes they make along the way, and what they see as most important in their teen's life.
How would my son describe me? I think he would refer to me as a comforting guide. I don't put on any airs with him. I don't try and be anything I'm not. I just, I'm real and I'm honest. He knows I make mistakes. He knows by no means am I perfect, but I don't think he ever questions my intention or my love for him. My son knows the two different tones, and one's procedural. How was your day? What did you do? Who'd you hang out with? What are you excited about? Do you have homework? And the other one is like, so who sits at your table? At lunch, okay, what was it that made you mad? What is it? And then it's like, hey, I'm not trying to solve it for you, but maybe I've been in a similar situation. So maybe I can just dice it up and tell you how I would do it. But I never try and make the mistake of telling, and I think that's what gears me to work with teens, is you don't solve things for anybody. You never tell somebody what they should do. I think the worst statement in youth development, being a teacher, being a Boys and Girls Club professional, being a counselor, is if I were you. If you say, if I were you, man, it's out the window. He'll call me after school. He's like, hey, Dad, I'm done. You gonna pick me up today or am I walking? I said, hey, you walking? Sometimes he wants to hang out with his friends after school. I don't have a problem with that. It's those opportunities for independence. And me and my wife always say, trust for what you do in everything, every other aspect of your life is earned. And you've earned this level of trust with us. You'll have it until you do something to make that wane. And then when that wanes, we're going to work on reestablishing that trust. And, being raised the way I was raised, I really try and never say, I'm disappointed in you. Instead, I want to make it very clear that I'm disappointed in the decisions that you made. I'm disappointed in the actions. My approach isn't always going to be right. And if I try and force my approach on him, then what is that? I'm not trying to make a mini me. We want him to be the best person he can be. I know coming up as he gets older, my support's going to change. As a parent, I think not having the answers, being terrified is like right in the pocket. Realizing I don't have the answers. Let's figure them out together.
I'd say our family dynamic is unique as far as the way I choose to parent my kids and the communication that I have with my boys. I keep an open dialogue with my kids about everything. Open questions. You come and talk to me. Anything that most people don't like to talk about, I make sure my kids know. And usually I'm the one who will start the conversation because I feel if I shy away from it, then they are too. With all three of my boys, when they're down, there's a lot of, in the hoodie, everything pulled, straight to the bedroom, straight out. Very short answers. And like I said, we have a very open, flowing household. So when the conversations get a lot shorter than they would normally be, then I can be like, okay, hold up, come back here, let's restart that. Now what's going on? And they'll be like, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, you don't have to talk about it right now, but you're going to be talking about it later. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way and just tell me what's going on. And then at least I'll get the highlights. Even if we don't get into it at that point, I know kind of where our conversation's going to be going when I get home from work. So it gives them time to get their thoughts together and then gives me an idea of the direction the conversation's going to go. It's scary not knowing like what direction to go, or you even doubt. Every parent, I think, we have that self-doubt, like, are we handling this correctly? Like, is there if I say something, is it going to make it worse? Some conversation is better than no conversation, is the way I've always tried to approach it, because I can always reword something he takes wrong, but I'll always regret not saying it if anything happens. And I try not to go off of my first instinct. So if my first instinct is to yell and scream, I try and pull that back. And I have to calm myself, because if I'm, coming at them in a rage, they're not going to talk. They're going to shut down. And I'm the same way. And I know that. So I try and approach my kids like I would like to be approached. Little conversations lead to big conversations, but you have to keep the conversations. I always want them to feel validated, know that mom understands. But I always want them to get to the part where they know, and I think overall my kids do know, there's nothing that they can do or come and talk to me about that is going to make me love them less. I guess I just want them to feel loved, not feared by me, because I'm always going to be on their side.
So all three of my kids are different, and I love that about them. This is Grace. This is Grace when she was 15. This photo was taken on Friday, November 20th of 2020. Grace and her brother and I, her younger brother and I, oftentimes went to a coffee shop for a treat on Friday mornings before school, just as a little time to connect. I always really loved our coffee dates, because it was a good chance for Grace and I. Usually always had quite a bit of conversation, but it was a time where Grace and Abraham and I could all three converse together. Well, words that I have for parents that may be worried about their teens' emotional life is, I would say to trust your gut. And I feel like if you feel like your kids are pulling inside of themselves, if you could just get them to find somebody that they are comfortable opening up with. I wish I could have done that for Grace. I think this is a hard time that kids are growing up in right now. I feel like a lot of feelings are expressed on social media, and not so much through like a verbally, like a conversation. And I feel like it's tricky for the kids. So I think that even if you feel like your child isn't struggling, I just think it's good for them to know that they have a friend in their parents. Parenting is not easy, and it's so important. I feel like it's probably the most important thing for my life anyway. And I just think it's important for parents to know that they're not alone, and that it's important to lean on each other and other resources in doing our best to take care of our children.
I hope listening to these conversations provided at least useful suggestions for how to better support your teen, and at most, an encouragement to keep up the necessary hard work of good parenting. For myself, I am continually struck by the simple importance of listening when it comes to supporting teens. What I think these parents and parents like them do so well is find small, countless ways of demonstrating that if you talk to me, I will listen. Whether that is during a car ride or over dinner or before bed. Listening does not mean lowering expectations, boundaries, rules, or anything else we do to keep young people safe. It means a willingness to let what matters to your teen matter to you. So thank you for listening to this video, to these parents, and to your child. Between the push and pull of your parental hopes and anxieties, of wanting what's best and not always knowing what that is, being a good listener in their life will often prove the first and best step in finding a way forward. Thank you.
Compassion, understanding, trust, and support.
This is what we want to experience when we're struggling, having thoughts of suicide, attempted suicide, or when a young person has taken their life by suicide.
We need caring adults who are willing and available to walk alongside us in these difficult situations.
We care. We're excited to announce the launch of the CARE Team, a group of highly trained, caring, and compassionate community healers who provide the needed support in these critical situations.
The CARE Team could also help you and your family navigate the community resources available and transition to long-term support if necessary.
And one of the most important aspects of the program is that anyone can access the CARE Team. It is free, and we will see any young person who is struggling with suicide.
Every young person needs to realize how much they matter.
We encourage you to end the silence about mental health and suicide. For more information, visit mvcf.org/careteam.
Youth for Change has been a member of the Ridge community for over 30 years. We offer individual, family, group counseling. We have a partnership with Butte County Behavioral Health and Paradise Unified to provide counseling services to students and also their families. We like to work with parents and identify ways in which they can strengthen their family relationships, work on communication skills, and identify some of those triggers and resources in the community to help them. So I would encourage people to go to our website and look at the different services that we offer. They can call Youth for Change directly. It's important just to reach out and to ask questions. You know, making those phone calls can be a really tough first step. When you call Youth for Change, you're going to find that we are strength-based. We're going to work on the assets and strengths that you already have within your family. Every family has them, to build those up so that you are feeling more prepared and ready to address some of the difficulties that you're having within your family or with your child. You're going to find Youth for Change and really any services to be welcoming and ready to assist.
So Strengthening Families is a internationally recognized family strengths-based program. It serves the entire family unit. Families come together to learn new skills, practice those skills, and get coaching individually for their family from one of our staff to practice and implement those skills in their own home. It's a 14-week program. We offer it twice a year, so once starting in January and once starting in August. And in Paradise, we meet on Wednesday evenings from 5:30 to 8. In the front office at Ridgeview High School and at Paradise High School, you can go into the front office and ask for a application or referral for Strengthening Families. You can also go to our website at www.butteyouthnow.org and under programs choose Strengthening Families.